What is going on, guys? If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Doug. I have been building cars for quite a while. I have a four-door Jeep Wrangler. I have an old Mustang. And now I have this 37-foot school bus. So far in the build, I have actually taken the exterior, chopped off the rear, dropped it all the way down to the floorboards, and built a flatbed out of the rear end. But I'm not gonna stop there. Not only am I gonna be able to haul the Jeep on the back of the bus back here, but I'm also gonna be able to throw the Mustang on the back and also build the interior so I can stay inside of the bus. So far in the interior, I've already done the flooring, I've done the insulation, and I've done all the kind of the roofing and some of the electrical. So that is what this video is going to be about, is building that interior, building the couch, building the bed, building the battery box, and getting everything kind of more usable on the insides. With everything all marked out in tape in the bus, it is time to start working on building the couch itself. Now what I'm doing is using 2x2 lumber here and basically building the entire structure out of this. Then afterwards coming back through with some of this plyboard here and then using that as all the backing and the seats and everything like that. Let's talk couch dimensions. The idea of the couch is to make it basically the size of a full-size bed plus a little extra inches for anybody that's going to be sleeping on the couch. It's also going to be a U-shape, so you can drop it down into a bed or pop it up into like a dinette couch system. It's going to be modular. It's going to be in 3 different sections as I build it. Once it goes into the bus, it'll be screwed down into the floor. The first section is going to be 24 inches deep by 48 inches wide, followed by 11 inches high. I chose 11 inches because that is approximately how high plus a 3-inch cushion at 14 inches. Kind of a sit down, kind of a sagging couch, kind of a more comfortable lounging couch. Getting the 2 sides put together was very, very important. I did almost forget one little section in there. The wheel well is going to be coming in contact with the front section of the couch. So after building the frame, I actually cut part of it out, turned it, and then put it right back in, measuring out from the bus exactly where it needed to be, and then went back up in there to verify that that piece actually fit. And then I made the matching top piece to go with it, adding in that little extra in the middle. Once I had the 2 side pieces complete, I had to jump in and start building the center section. The entire length of the couch is going to be 6'6". Not a lot of friends I know are over that height. So measuring out 6'6" puts me at 30 inches width in between the 2 24-foot sections. All right, it is the next morning and everything is now dried up for the couch that goes inside the bus. So I'm gonna go around into the garage, bring them out, let's go see how they fit and see how they look. All right, the main structure of the couch is now in. Leaving a 4-inch gap behind back here, leaves it so I can sit with a kind of like a place to rest your neck back, rest your head back. I'm gonna bring all this stuff into the bus here and start cutting and building everything while right here in the bus. I think that'll be a little bit better idea. The couch is now complete. I have the back frame here, back frame over there, the 2 sitting areas that are going horizontally, sideways and sideways, and then the seating area that goes all the way down the length down there. So I know this looks kind of strange. It does look a little bit high here. That is in anticipation of using a 4-inch thick foam for my cushions for both the back and the seats here. And now it is pretty much ready to start putting on the panels. All right, I had some slight technical difficulties last night with the camera. Apparently it did not record. Oops. The battery box and pretty much all the electrical box is going to be right here, right behind the drivers. I did make this spot here as an additional seat It will house all the batteries, the house batteries, but it will also be padded, and I'll have seat cushions and a seat belt on that eventually. But over here we got electrical box. Everything is going to be right here. Some of the cables are going in behind the driver's seat. I will fix that a little bit later, make it look a little bit nicer, but the main structure, main frame of it is all set. This side here, I did opt to keep the full length, the back wall, down to the edge of the couch area. However, on this side, I did opt to suck it in just a little bit. Right here, you can see the blue tape. That is going to be where the kitchen's going to sit up, and it's going to be at an angle. I didn't want to get too close with that because that is getting a little tight as is. This right here, I did get a second opinion on. I reached out to my brother, who is likely going to be in here with me. He has a 70 Dodge Challenger that he has done a Hemi swap on. I have my 66 Mustang that I did my Ford modular motor on. Spoiler alert, we will be racing them and taking this bus around the country a little bit. If you guys want to check out his channel is called No Bolts Left Behind. I'll link that in the description below for you guys. With the structure of the couch now complete, it is time to start doing all the backing pieces. The backboard here, here, and all on the outside, so everything looks nice and it's not just an open frame. With the main part of the couch all complete, all the backs are on, all the bottoms are on, everything is looking really nice. But now it is time to start working on the bench sections of the seats. Now the walls I've been using have been 1/4 inch. For the seats, I did go for 1/2 inch. So I need to make 3 different sections, 1, 2, 3 for there, 1 for this front seat here, and then 1 for the top of the battery box. I'm gonna do it thicker for the top of the battery box because that is going to be the top of where we're gonna have like radios and stuff, and some more electronics that sit on top. So that's gonna be a little bit thicker. And then of course the seats for people to sit on, don't want them to bow and flex underneath. And something to note is I did leave these 1/2 inch thicker on top. So that way the seats can sit down on this and they can't slide around and slide out. Yeah, awesome. One of them down. I gotta say, leaving that extra 1/2 inch up on the sides here definitely helped out a lot. Now it is almost exactly the same. Once you throw some cushions on here, you won't be able to tell the difference. All right, the couch is basically done. This is pretty awesome. From side to side here, it is 6'5" from wall to wall, so that should be plenty fine for most of the people that'll be riding in here. Dang, I just realized I can't get these up. So let's work on some handles for these to get each of these pieces up, because obviously that's not gonna work too well. My idea is to use these straps. Now, normally these straps are holding stuff down in your truck. They're basically just tie straps without the ratchet on there. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put this down with some bolts and some glue and use this as my actual like handle to lift up these seats. I don't want it to be super crazy long, but I also don't want it pretty short. I think doing something like this is gonna be plenty fine. And if you ever worked with nylon before, you definitely, once cut, you wanna kind of melt the fibers so they don't come unraveled afterwards. And that should be pretty good enough right there. This next part is gonna be pretty easy. Drill holes through the fabric and also through the wood. Okay, there we go. Super simple, super easy. Now that the couch is complete, it is time to start building this bed section back here. The bed I'm going to be putting in here is going to be a full-size bed, so it's going to be 72 inches long by 54 inches wide. Should be pretty easy to build that up in here and have some extra room for a headboard. With the help of Buddy yesterday, we went to Home Depot and picked up a whole bunch of wood. So the first thing I gotta do is figure out exactly what the height of the bed I want, using 4x4 as the main core supports. Let's say I put 24 inches. That'll put the top of the mattress about right here, give or take, which I think will be just about perfect. Using this 12-foot section of 4x4 here, making 6 supports at 2 feet each. Going this full length here, looks like we're going to be sitting at 89 inches. This up now, it's time to start doing a cross piece here, which I just cut down to about this. My idea is putting this on here. This is going to be a side support for the side of the plyboard for the mattress. This next step is pretty easy, just measuring out from here to here and cut me a 2x6. Lots and lots of glue. Okay, so this part I want to make a hinge. Have the bed sitting on it and the front is going to lift up, giving me access underneath. But just in case it's absolutely dumping outside and there's something in here I want to get to, I can just kind of lift it up and gain access to it. I got the hinges done last night, but it was very, very hard to film. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you kind of what I did for the hinges in the back right here with this handle. So I'm taking this flat steel here. I did it back there the full length so it adds an additional strength supporting from underneath. And I'm going to do the same thing underneath the handles here. Drill in a 5/16 on either side. The fastener is going to go through the board into some big gigantic washers. And then the handles or the straps I'm making are going to be screwed into the top of the plyboard here. That way I'm not relying on the plyboard only to hold the strength of the straps as I pull them up. With the main bed frame now complete, it is time to start working on the headboard piece. Going from side to side here, it is 88 inches. The bed is going to be 75 inches, and I'm going to be building up a headboard here to pretty much store some clothing in, put a light switch in, and put a power outlet for this rear end here. Keeping in mind that I do not want to block off these windows completely, because later on, if they start to leak again, I want to be able to open them up and be able to replace them, seal them. So I'm going to be building everything off of the front of this piece of wood here. Now that the headboard is basically complete, it is time to start talking about doing the top top lid of the headboard. This compartment is going to be kind of like the headboard storage area for my clothing when we're going on adventures. This will be one solid piece right here, whereas this is going to be a flip up. That way I could put my light switch up in here. I'm also going to have a power outlet sitting on top here. So it'll be sitting about right here or back here, wherever. That way I can plug my phone in or plug whatever else in. These little microphones that I'm using, plug them in overnight. Back in the garage with the plyboard all routed out, nice and smooth around the edges here, it is time to actually start burning it with a blowtorch. So this is an ancient Japanese technique. This technique basically is you are burning the top layer of this with some sort of heat source. Okay, and how cool is that? That is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna take this up into the bus and let's clear coat it so it gets all nice and sealed up that way and gets that ever so slight glossy look to it. The stuff I'll be using is just basically a polyurethane water-based sealant, so it really sucks in there and really absorbs into it. So I am gonna be putting 2 coats on here. First coat's gonna take a little bit to cure up, and then I'll throw the second one on in the morning and let it cure for the rest of the day. I'm gonna come back to this tomorrow and we're gonna see just how glossy it is, even with that first coat. I am gonna leave the heater on here in the bus. It is getting to a balmy 70 degrees in here, so it should be curing up that super nicely. I did not sleep very long last night. But anyway, they are looking super good. They are definitely need a second coat on here. Got a slightly shiny sheen to them, but not quite the same as the others. So I'm gonna do a second coat on here, do the same thing, let it cure basically the whole day. Okay, nice and coated. Let's come back tonight. Okay, so I will say these are looking pretty darn awesome. They are a little bit of a gloss on there, a little bit of shine. I left a little bit of the texture in it just because I like the feel of the texture of it, but they were looking super great. So now it is time to install them onto here. It's gonna sit up here. This one here is gonna sit, I think it was this way, like that. So these are now up there, and I do notice that the wood did bow a little bit. I'm not sure if that was when I burned it or sealed it, or I just did it beforehand. So I'm gonna put some weight on there, just kind of hold it down. Hopefully it'll straighten up. So the switch is gonna go on top right here. It's gonna go in front, and then I'm gonna have the power outlet sitting on the back. I am going to drill out the corners and then use a jigsaw for the rest of it. Cool thing about the jigsaw is I can actually use my power inverter to use to cut this open. Have this wired up, both the light switch and the power outlet. So now that these two are in place, this is basically where it's gonna sit. It is time to start worrying about this guy here. The hinges I got for this are gonna be your standard just door hinges. They don't need to be super crazy strong because they're just gonna be holding up this as I lift it up. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Throw some hinges on it. So I definitely did not plan that out accordingly. With this, like the bars to lock it in place down, I did not have enough room to access it from the outside. So I had to use a Phillips bit and this guy, a ratcheting wrench to get them down. So what would have taken a minute or two just took me about 20. Anyway, this is now officially locked in place and it is openable, and I do have now storage for my own clothing or anything else I want to put in there. All right, and with that, I think this video is going to be coming to an end. If you like the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to see you guys all next time.